Focusing on yourself is not selfish. It is the first real step toward becoming the person you were always meant to be. When you give your time and energy to your own dreams, you stop waiting for permission and start living with purpose. You don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing your peace, your growth, and your goals. What matters most is how you feel when you wake up and what future you're building for yourself. Most people spend their lives trying to meet everyone's expectations and end up losing connection with their own dreams. You don't need to fix everything around you. You need to reconnect with what matters to you. Today we will discuss why focusing on yourself is not a weakness, but your biggest strength. It will show you how to stop chasing people's approval and start chasing what truly lights you up. If you're ready to stop living for others and finally put your time, energy, and heart into your own dreams, then let's dive in. Number 1. Prioritize your goals over distractions and outside opinions. Most people wake up each day already behind. They open their eyes and the first thing they do is reach for their phones. They scroll through other people's lives, opinions, problems, jokes, and highlights. And without even realizing it, they're already off track mentally and emotionally. Before they've even had a chance to ask themselves, what do I want from today? They're already consumed by what everyone else is doing. That's the trap. That's how you lose control of your life bit by bit, day by day. You let the world tell you what matters instead of deciding for yourself. And after enough time living that way, you forget what your own goals even were. That's what makes focusing on yourself so rare and so powerful. You can't build a strong life chasing after everything you see online. You can't live with purpose when you're chasing other people's approval. You need to have a direction, a reason, a mission that belongs to you. Because the truth is, distractions aren't always about scrolling or entertainment. Sometimes the biggest distraction is trying to live up to what other people expect of you. Parents, friends, society, they all have opinions. They'll tell you what's smart, what's risky, what's unrealistic. And if you're not careful, you'll start building their version of success instead of your own. People waste years trying to impress others. Years working jobs they hate, studying subjects they don't care about, buying things they don't need. All because they want to be accepted. They want to be seen as doing the right thing. But what's right for someone else may be completely wrong for you. If you want to build a life that makes you feel proud when you wake up and at peace when you go to sleep, you have to prioritize your goals above everything else. That means turning down distractions. That means saying no to people who pull you in the wrong direction. And that means getting real with yourself about what you truly want. There's something freeing that happens when you decide you don't need everyone's approval. You don't need to fit into their version of normal. You don't need to meet every expectation. What you need is clarity. What you need is a vision. And once you have that, you hold on to it like it's oxygen. That vision is your compass. It reminds you why you're doing what you're doing. It pulls you forward when life gets messy. And it gives you a reason to keep going when no one's cheering for you. But here's what most people don't realize. Distractions are not just external. They live inside us too. Doubt, fear, insecurity, procrastination. The voice that says, "Who do you think you are to chase that dream?" That's the enemy within. And the only way to defeat it is by committing to your goals so fiercely that no excuse can survive. You don't need motivation every day. You need a decision. A decision to put your dreams first, even when it's inconvenient. Especially when it's inconvenient. Think about how much time people waste watching others live their lives. How much energy goes into worrying about how they're being perceived. Now imagine what happens when you take all of that energy and pour it into your own goals. You wake up with purpose. You move with intention. You stop trying to fit in and start trying to level up. You stop chasing comfort and start chasing growth. You stop caring about who's watching and start focusing on what you're building. When your goals become your priority, everything changes. You start scheduling your day differently. You start making better choices. You stop wasting time. You stop saying yes to things that don't move you forward. That's what it means to live with discipline, not because someone else is forcing it, but because you've decided that your life matters too much to waste, that your goals deserve your full attention, that your future deserves your commitment. And yes, people might talk. They might not understand. They might even try to pull you back into their world of comfort and distraction. But you don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't owe them your time, your energy, or your focus. You owe that to yourself. Because you're the one who has to live with the results of your life. No one else can do that for you. The world is noisy. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone has a plan for how you should live your life. But only you know what's in your heart. Only you know what dreams keep you up at night. And only you can do the work it takes to make them real. That's your responsibility. That's your power. And once you start living like that, you stop being a follower. You become a creator. You stop reacting and start leading. You stop waiting and start building. Focusing on your goals doesn't mean being selfish. It means being honest. Honest about what really matters to you. Honest about the fact that your time is limited and precious. And honest enough to walk away from anything that doesn't align with the life you're trying to build. That includes opinions. That includes distractions. That includes comfort. Growth isn't always easy, but it is always worth it. You weren't born to blend in. You weren't born to live someone else's version of success. You were born to become something real, something strong, something honest. But that only happens when you focus on you, when you make the decision daily, repeatedly, to put your goals above noise, above distractions, above approval. The life you want won't show up by accident. You have to create it. You have to protect it. And that starts by prioritizing your goals like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Your future depends on what you focus on today. Your peace depends on what you ignore. Your happiness depends on what you choose to pursue. Ignore the noise. Protect your time. Build the life that matters to you. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today. Start now. Number 2. Dedicate daily time to nurture your personal growth. Most people want their life to get better, but they don't want to change anything about how they live. They hope things will magically improve on their own. They want more money, more peace, more confidence, better relationships, but they spend most of their time doing the same things that have already brought them nothing but stress and regret. Days slip by and they stay stuck. Not because they're not capable, but because they've never made growing themselves a daily habit. And that's the hard truth. If you're not growing, you're staying the same. And in today's world, staying the same is falling behind. The way you spend your time reflects how seriously you take your future. And if you're not spending at least some time every day working on who you are, then you're not serious. You're just wishing. Life doesn't reward wishes. It rewards effort, clarity, and consistency. Growth is not automatic. You don't wake up one day smarter, stronger, or more disciplined. You have to build it. You have to earn it. One decision at a time. You don't need 10 hours a day to grow. You don't need to quit your job or move to a different country. But you do need to carve out part of your day every day that's just for you. Not for your boss, not for your family, not for scrolling on your phone. Just you, your development, your learning, your mindset. That time is where the new version of you begins. And if you keep skipping it, that new version of you never arrives. The reason most people stay stuck isn't because they don't have potential. It's because they've never trained themselves to be consistent. They wait for motivation. They wait to feel like it. And while they're waiting, they're wasting precious days. There's no secret to growth. You show up for yourself every single day, even when it's boring, even when you're tired, even when no one's watching. That's how change happens. You've got to start asking yourself, how am I feeding my mind today? What am I learning that will help me make better decisions tomorrow? What skill am I sharpening? What weakness am I facing head on? That's the kind of thinking that leads to progress. Not hoping, not blaming, not escaping. but choosing to face yourself with honesty and take steps to improve even when it's hard. You can't afford to drift through your days anymore. Too many people do that. They wake up, go through the motions, do what they have to do, and then repeat. They go to work, handle responsibilities, maybe watch a little TV, then call it a night. Another day gone. No improvement, no progress, no stretch. And that pattern goes on for years. Until one day they wake up full of regret, wondering where the time went. You can't let that be your story. You've got to take control while you still have time. Make it a priority to give yourself at least 1 hour a day. An hour to read, to write, to think, to challenge yourself, to ask hard questions, to dream, to plan, to reflect. And if an hour feels too much at the start, begin with 30 minutes. The point isn't the number. The point is the habit. That's what builds momentum. That's what separates people who rise from people who stay stuck. And don't confuse staying busy with growing. You can fill your whole day with activity and still be stagnant. Growth requires intention. You don't grow just by doing. You grow by evaluating what you're doing, learning from it, and doing it better. You grow by being honest about your weaknesses instead of hiding from them. You grow by confronting the things you've been avoiding, your fears, your laziness, your bad habits. And that kind of work doesn't happen by accident. It happens because you schedule it. You protect it. You honor it. Your time is your most valuable asset, and how you use it determines everything. You want to build confidence? Make it a habit to keep promises to yourself. Start with something small, 10 pages of a book, a journal entry, a morning workout, and do it daily. You'll start to believe in yourself, not because someone told you to, but because you've built a track record. That's where real confidence comes from, seeing evidence of your own consistency. Don't wait for the perfect moment to start. The perfect moment is now. Right now is the moment where you decide whether you're serious about your life or just pretending. There will always be distractions, always be reasons to skip it. But if you want to change your life, you have to make time for growth, even when it's inconvenient. Especially when it's inconvenient. That's when it counts. When you commit to daily growth, everything in your life gets better. You think more clearly, you manage stress better, you make better choices. You stop reacting emotionally and start responding intentionally. And you begin to see progress in areas where you used to feel stuck. That kind of progress creates hope, and hope, combined with action, becomes power. Don't let the days blur together anymore. Don't let another week go by where nothing inside you has changed. You're not a robot. You're a human being with goals, emotions, talents, and pain. And you owe it to yourself to grow into someone who can handle more, give more, become more. But that version of you is waiting on the other side of your daily discipline. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up for yourself every single day. When you grow, your life grows. When you think better, you live better. When you invest in yourself, it shows in every part of your life, your health, your relationships, your income, your peace. But none of that happens if you don't take the time. Time is the soil where your future grows, and if you're not planting anything, you can't expect anything to grow. Make the decision today, not tomorrow. Today. Start small if you need to, but start. Block off time that's just for you. Protect it like it matters, because it does. Use that time to become someone you're proud of. The kind of person who doesn't just hope for a better future but builds one choice at a time, 1 hour at a time, every day. Number 3, visualize your dreams clearly to increase motivation. Most people walk through life without a clear picture of what they want. They say they want success, happiness, freedom, but they don't take the time to define what those words actually mean to them. So they end up chasing vague goals, following the crowd, or working hard with no direction. And the result is always the same. They burn out, they get discouraged, and eventually they stop trying altogether. Not because they didn't have the potential, but because they didn't have a clear picture to move toward. Without a vision, you lose your reason to fight through hard days. You've got to stop guessing about your future. Stop living by default. If your dreams are blurry, your motivation will always be weak. But when you take time to visualize, clearly really see your future, you unlock something inside of you, something powerful. Because now you're not just wishing, you're creating. You're building a mental picture so strong that it begins to shape your behavior, your habits, your decisions. It becomes your internal compass. You start aligning your actions with a future you can feel, not just imagine. Take a step back and ask yourself, what does your ideal life look like? Not what your parents want, not what society says. What do you want? Where do you live? How do you spend your time? What kind of work are you doing? Who are you surrounded by? How do you feel when you wake up in the morning? These are not random questions, they're essential. Because when you get specific about your vision, your daily choices gain meaning. You stop drifting. You start acting with purpose. Visualization isn't fantasy. It's a tool, and the most successful people in the world use it. Athletes, artists, entrepreneurs, they all train their minds to see their success before it happens. That mental rehearsal builds belief. It creates emotional attachment. And once you feel emotionally connected to a dream, you'll fight harder to make it real. That's where true motivation comes from. Not from quotes or hype, but from emotional clarity, from knowing what you're after and why it matters. Too often people stop themselves before they even begin. They think their dream is too big, or they don't deserve it, or it's not realistic. But here's the truth. You can't move towards something you can't see. And you can't achieve what you don't believe. Visualization is how you start believing. It's how you train your brain to accept a new reality as possible, even before the evidence shows up in your life. The mind responds powerfully to images. If you keep seeing yourself failing, quitting, or being stuck, that's exactly where you'll stay. But when you start to picture yourself winning, speaking with confidence, achieving your goals, living your dream life, your mind starts to adjust. It begins to look for ways to match that picture. That's not magic. That's psychology. Your brain starts filtering opportunities differently. You notice things you used to ignore. You think differently. And over time, you act differently. Don't underestimate the power of daily visualization. Spend a few quiet minutes each morning or night seeing your dream in full detail. Not just the results, but the process. See yourself putting in the work. See yourself solving problems. See yourself staying focused, even when it's tough. That kind of mental rehearsal builds resilience. It prepares you for the real journey, not just the highlights. Write your vision down. Read it often. Keep it somewhere visible. And when doubt shows up, and it will go back to that vision, remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself what's waiting on the other side of the struggle. Because without that reminder, it's easy to quit when life gets hard. But when your vision is strong, quitting feels like betrayal. You can't walk away from something you've seen clearly, something that feels real in your bones. Most people don't lack discipline, they lack vision. That's why they procrastinate. That's why they make excuses. Because they haven't seen a future worth fighting for. When your dream is clear, you don't need someone to push you. You'll push yourself. You'll wake up earlier. You'll say no to distractions. You'll work harder, not because you have to, but because you want to. That's what clear visualization does. It moves you from obligation to desire. It puts your future in your hands. Don't keep your dreams locked in your mind like secrets. Make them vivid. Speak them out loud. See them in your imagination every day. Let them shape how you show up. Let them fuel your drive. When people tell you it's unrealistic, remember they're reacting to your dream with their vision, not yours. Don't borrow their limitations. Protect your dream like it matters, because it does. Your dream isn't just an idea. It's a responsibility. It's a call to become more, do more, live more. But to answer that call, you need clarity. You need to be able to see it, feel it, chase it. If you can't picture yourself living it, you'll never last long enough to reach it. So give yourself that gift. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and picture the life that sets your soul on fire. Picture the person you know you can become, not someday, but starting now. Every great achievement started as a vision. Every breakthrough began in someone's mind long before it showed up in the world. That includes yours. The only question is, are you willing to see it clearly and work toward it daily? Or will you keep living on autopilot, letting life decide for you? There is no power in vague goals. There's no fire in half-hearted dreams. You need to see it so clearly that it feels inevitable. You need to create a vision that pulls you out of bed, keeps you moving through setbacks, and reminds you that you're building something real, something that matters, something worth giving everything for. This is your life, your one shot. Don't wander through it hoping for the best. Decide what you want. Picture it in detail, make it so real in your mind that the rest of the world starts to feel temporary compared to what's coming. That's how you create lasting motivation. That's how you turn dreams into plans and plans into results. Number 4, set boundaries to protect your energy and focus. One of the toughest challenges most people face is keeping their focus sharp and their energy steady. Life throws distractions at you non-stop. People asking for your time, opinions you didn't ask for, emergencies that aren't really emergencies. And if you don't put limits around these interruptions, you'll find yourself drained, overwhelmed, and further from your dreams than when you started. The sad truth is, most people don't realize how much their time and energy are being stolen until it's too late. They wake up one day exhausted and frustrated, wondering why they aren't closer to where they want to be. The root cause? They never learned to protect themselves by setting clear boundaries. Boundaries aren't just about telling others no, they're about saying yes to yourself. Boundaries create the space where your goals can breathe, where your focus can grow, where your energy can stay strong. Without them, your attention scatters. Your willpower weakens. You lose the ability to give your best to the things that truly matter. If you're serious about your dreams, setting boundaries isn't optional, it's essential. Think about how you spend your time right now. How many hours are swallowed up by distractions that don't move you forward? How many moments are spent worrying about what other people think or trying to please everyone? It's a harsh reality that people who never learn to protect their focus often become busy, tired, and stuck in place. Their potential gets trapped behind endless interruptions and obligations. Your energy is like a bank account, it's limited. You have to decide where you want to spend it, or someone else will spend it for you. Setting boundaries means becoming comfortable with saying no to things that don't align with your priorities. It means protecting your schedule from unnecessary meetings, social media, constant notifications, and people who drain your spirit. It means creating routines that shield your productive time so you don't get pulled into chaos every time a crisis shows up. You're not being rude or selfish by doing this. You're being smart. You're valuing your dreams and treating your energy like the precious resource it is. Many people fear that setting boundaries will isolate them or make them seem uncooperative. That's a common misconception. When you set clear limits, you actually gain respect from others and yourself. You show that your time and goals have value. You stop overcommitting to things that don't serve your future. And you open up space to say yes to the right opportunities, the right people, and the right actions that help you grow. Energy and focus are the fuel and steering wheel of your journey. Without them, your efforts are scattered and less effective. Boundaries help you maintain that fuel and control. For example, blocking off certain hours just for deep work or learning can make a massive difference. Turning off your phone or muting notifications during that time can protect your brain from being hijacked by distractions. It's these small, intentional actions that add up to massive gains in productivity and progress. You also have to be honest with yourself about where your energy goes emotionally. Toxic relationships, constant drama, negative talk, they all drain your focus without you realizing it. Setting emotional boundaries means choosing who you let influence your mindset. It means stepping back from people who bring you down or create unnecessary stress. Your dreams need you at your best, not exhausted from dealing with other people's issues. Protecting your emotional energy is just as important as guarding your time. A big part of setting boundaries is learning to trust your own judgment. When you know what you want and why it matters, it's easier to say no to distractions. You don't have to explain or justify your choices to everyone. You become more comfortable prioritizing your dreams over the constant demands of others. This is where personal power grows, the power to control your environment so it supports your success. Without boundaries, you might find yourself constantly reacting instead of acting. You'll spend your days putting out fires, dealing with other people's problems, and feeling like you're on a treadmill that never stops. But when you create limits, you take back control. You decide what deserves your attention and what doesn't. This doesn't mean you ignore responsibilities. It means you handle them with intention and don't let them steal your future. It's important to realize that boundaries aren't built overnight. They require practice, courage, and sometimes uncomfortable conversations. But the cost of not setting boundaries is far greater: lost time, drained energy, and a dream that fades in the distance. Start small. Set limits on your phone use. Protect your mornings. Decide which meetings you really need to attend. Notice how these choices free up space for your goals. When you set boundaries, you create an environment that honors your priorities. You stop letting the noise of everyday life drown out your vision. Your focus sharpens, your motivation strengthens, and your energy stays high. And the more consistent you are with these limits, the more you'll see your life transform. It's not selfish to protect your time and energy, it's necessary. Your dreams deserve your full attention. They require you to guard your mental and emotional space fiercely. When you respect yourself enough to create these boundaries, you send a message to the world that your life matters, that your goals are real, and that you are serious about becoming the person you want to be. You have one life and one chance to live it fully. The distractions will never stop coming, the demands will never cease, and people will always want a piece of your time. But you get to choose what you allow in. Setting boundaries is the way to say, this is my life, this is my focus, this is my energy, and I will not give it away lightly. This decision is the foundation for everything else you want to build. Protect your focus, guard your energy, set boundaries that serve you and your dreams. When you do this, you'll notice a shift. You'll feel more empowered. You'll see progress. You'll realize that your dreams were never out of reach. They just needed you to stand up and protect the path to them. Number 5. Replace negative influences with supportive, inspiring people. Most people don't realize how much the people around them affect their energy, mindset, and progress. You can have the clearest goals and the strongest motivation, but if your daily environment is filled with negativity, criticism, or doubt, it will wear you down. It's like trying to run a race while carrying a heavy backpack full of stones. The weight of negative influences slows you down, saps your confidence, and clouds your judgment. Too many people let this happen without a second thought. They stay stuck in circles where complaints, jealousy, or fear dominate the conversations. And when your world is filled with that noise, your dreams struggle to breathe. If you want to focus on yourself and your dreams, one of the most important steps you can take is to look closely at the people you spend time with. Are they lifting you up or pulling you down? Do they inspire you to become better, or do they hold you back? Are they genuinely happy for your success, or do they react with envy or criticism? The truth is, your circle has a huge impact on your emotional health and your ability to stay motivated. Negative influences don't just bring bad energy, they change how you see yourself and what you believe is possible. Surrounding yourself with supportive, inspiring people isn't just about feeling good. It's about building an environment that pushes you forward. These people believe in you when you doubt yourself. They celebrate your wins, no matter how small. They challenge you to grow and hold you accountable when you start to stray. Their optimism becomes contagious, and their confidence helps build yours. When your inner circle believes in your dreams, it becomes easier for you to believe too. Their support acts like a shield against self-doubt and fear. This doesn't mean you have to cut everyone out or be surrounded only by perfect people. No one is perfect. But it means making a conscious choice to limit your exposure to those who drain your spirit or discourage your progress. It means investing your time and energy into relationships that help you grow instead of ones that keep you stuck. This might require some tough decisions. You might have to say goodbye to friends or family members who don't respect your goals or who constantly bring negativity. That can be hard, but it's necessary if you want to protect your dreams. Positive, inspiring people come in many forms. They might be mentors who have already walked the path you want to take. They could be friends who share your values and ambitions. Sometimes they're simply people you connect with through books, podcasts, or online communities who feed your mind with encouragement and wisdom. The key is to seek out those who make you feel stronger, more capable, and more hopeful. Their presence lights a fire inside you. Their stories remind you that what you want is possible. When you're surrounded by people who believe in growth, it changes how you handle setbacks. Instead of giving up when things get tough, you learn to see challenges as opportunities to learn and improve. Supportive people don't just tell you you can do it. They show you how by their actions, by their example. They offer advice when needed, and more importantly, they listen when you need to express your fears and frustrations without judgment. This kind of connection is vital for mental and emotional resilience. Many times, people cling to negative influences because they feel safe or familiar. It's uncomfortable to let go of relationships that have been around for years, even if those relationships no longer serve your best interests. But staying in toxic environments is like standing in quicksand. It keeps you stuck while you struggle harder to move forward. Real growth requires a willingness to step into new circles, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. The discomfort of change is temporary, but the cost of staying stuck is long-lasting. Replacing negative influences isn't about changing who you are or pretending to be someone else. It's about surrounding yourself with people who bring out the best in you. It's about creating a support system that encourages your goals and dreams. This support system will give you the emotional fuel to keep going on days when motivation is low. It will remind you of your worth when self-doubt creeps in. It will push you to keep taking action even when the path looks hard. Start by evaluating your current relationships. Notice how you feel after spending time with different people. Do you feel energized and hopeful or drained and discouraged? Pay attention to patterns. Then make intentional choices. Invest more time with those who inspire you, challenge you, and support your growth. Seek out new connections that align with your vision. Join groups or communities where positive, motivated people gather. It might take effort, but the rewards are huge. It's also important to become the kind of person others want to be around. When you focus on your own growth, your energy shifts. People are drawn to confidence, purpose, and positivity. As you raise your own standards, you'll naturally attract others who share your mindset. This creates a cycle of encouragement and progress that feeds itself. You don't have to look far for support. Start by becoming a source of inspiration yourself. Your dreams deserve to be nurtured by people who lift you up, not tear you down. They deserve an environment where hope and encouragement are the norm. By replacing negative influences with supportive, inspiring people, you build a foundation that keeps you moving forward. This foundation strengthens your focus, fuels your motivation, and helps you stay true to your vision even when the road gets rough. Choosing your company wisely is one of the most powerful moves you can make to protect your energy and grow your potential. No dream was ever achieved alone. The right support can make the difference between giving up and pushing through. When you surround yourself with people who believe in what you want, you'll start to believe in it more deeply too. That belief will carry you through the hardest moments and bring you closer to the life you're meant to live. Number 6. Take consistent action toward your dreams every day. It's one of the hardest realities for most people to accept. Dreams don't work unless you do. The idea of overnight success is a myth that causes frustration and disappointment. What really moves you forward is taking steady, consistent action day after day, no matter how small those steps may seem. Many people get caught up waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect motivation. But waiting is a trap. Time passes, opportunities slip away, and the distance between where you are and where you want to be grows. The truth is, progress is built on persistence, on showing up regularly, even when you don't feel like it. Consistency means doing something meaningful toward your dreams every single day. It doesn't have to be huge or dramatic. It can be as simple as learning a new skill, reaching out to someone who can help, organizing your thoughts, or working on your craft for just 15 minutes. What matters is that you keep moving. When you act daily, you build momentum. Momentum creates energy that carries you through tough days and fuels your belief in your goals. Without it, motivation becomes a fleeting visitor that comes and goes, leaving you stuck in place. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to do too much at once and burning out quickly. They launch into grand plans with enormous enthusiasm, only to feel overwhelmed and give up after a short time. Consistency is not about speed or intensity, it's about creating habits that last. Habits are the bricks that form the road to your dreams. Even slow progress is better than no progress. When you consistently do the work, your confidence grows. You learn from your efforts, adjust your path, and inch closer to your vision. Taking action every day also helps to overcome fear and doubt. The longer you wait or hesitate, the louder those negative voices become in your head. They tell you you're not ready, not capable, or that you'll fail. But action is the antidote. When you push forward, you silence those doubts with evidence, proof that you are moving, growing, and capable of change. It's like training a muscle. The more you work at it, the stronger your courage and resolve become. Consistency requires discipline. It's easy to let distractions or excuses get in the way. Life will always find reasons to pull your attention elsewhere: fatigue, family demands, unexpected problems. But discipline means committing to your dreams regardless of circumstances. It's about creating a routine that supports your goals and sticking to it. Discipline doesn't mean perfection. It means showing up, even when it's hard, even when progress feels slow or invisible. To build consistency, break your goals into manageable tasks. Large goals can feel overwhelming and paralyze you. Instead, divide them into daily actions that feel doable. When you accomplish these smaller steps, you create a chain of success that keeps you motivated. It's not about chasing big wins every day, it's about adding one more link to your progress. Over time, those small efforts become habits, and those habits lead to lasting change. Another powerful benefit of consistent action is the clarity it brings. When you regularly work on your dreams, you begin to understand what works and what doesn't. You start to see patterns, opportunities, and obstacles more clearly. This insight allows you to adjust your approach, improve your skills, and make better decisions. Stagnation breeds confusion and doubt. Movement creates clarity and confidence. Taking consistent action also teaches patience. Dreams take time. There's no shortcut. It's tempting to want immediate results, but true success is a journey, not a race. Each day of effort, no matter how small, is an investment in your future. The work you do now compounds. It builds skills, relationships, and opportunities that pay off down the road. This perspective helps you stay committed when results seem distant. One thing to remember is that some days will be harder than others. Motivation will dip. Life will get in the way. But even on those tough days, doing something even a little keeps you in the game. Missing one day doesn't mean failure. What matters is that you don't let one missed day turn into many. Consistency is about getting back up, refocusing, and continuing your journey. Celebrate progress regularly, no matter how small. Recognizing your efforts fuels your desire to keep going. It reminds you that you are capable and making a difference. This positive reinforcement creates a cycle of action and reward that strengthens your commitment. It's easy to focus only on the end goal and forget to acknowledge how far you've come. Don't fall into that trap. Taking consistent action also builds resilience. When you face setbacks or failures, you'll have the habit of moving forward to rely on. You won't crumble at the first sign of difficulty because you have practice continuing through challenges. Resilience is the muscle that keeps you going when the path is tough. It grows every time you act, despite fear, doubt, or obstacles. It's important to create an environment that supports your daily action. This includes removing distractions, setting aside specific time blocks, and having clear goals each day. The more you prepare your space and mind for focus, the easier it becomes to follow through. Environment shapes behavior more than most people realize. A cluttered space, constant interruptions, or lack of planning will make it harder to stay consistent. Finally, remember that consistent action reflects belief in yourself and your dreams. It shows you are serious about your goals. Every time you choose to work on your dream, you send a message to yourself that your vision matters, that you are worth the effort. This internal message is powerful. It fuels your motivation and builds your self-trust, which is essential for long-term success. No dream becomes reality without action. The power lies not in grand gestures, but in small daily steps taken with intention. Consistency creates the path. Discipline keeps you on it. Patience ensures you stay the course. Taking action every day, no matter what, is how you turn dreams into your reality. It's the hard truth many ignore, but the ones who embrace it find themselves unstoppable. Number 7. Reflect regularly to align actions with your true goals. Many people move through their days caught in a constant rush, taking action without pausing to check if they are really headed in the right direction. They stay busy chasing tasks and responding to what feels urgent, but lose sight of what's truly important. This is one of the biggest obstacles to reaching your dreams: being active, but not effective. Reflection is the tool that brings clarity and focus back to your journey. It forces you to step back, look honestly at where you are, and decide if your actions still match your heart's deepest goals. Without regular reflection, you risk wandering off the path and wasting time on things that don't move you forward. Reflection is not a one-time event. It's a habit that needs to be built into your life. Taking time to pause and think is not a sign of weakness or procrastination. It's a sign of wisdom and maturity. It shows you value your dreams enough to check if your daily efforts are in line with them. This process helps you avoid drifting into routines that feel comfortable but don't serve your vision. Life will constantly pull your attention in many directions. Without reflection, those pulls can pull you completely away from what matters most. When you reflect regularly, you create space to understand your true desires better. Dreams can change, evolve, or grow, and your actions need to keep up with that change. Reflection reveals whether your goals are still your own, or if you have adopted someone else's expectations. Sometimes, what you thought you wanted at one point no longer fits who you are becoming. Honest reflection helps you realign with what excites you deeply, not just what feels familiar or safe. This practice is also a powerful way to learn from your experiences. Reflection gives you the chance to look back on what worked and what didn't. It lets you celebrate progress and identify mistakes or wasted effort. By understanding these patterns, you make smarter decisions going forward. This kind of self-awareness is essential to avoid repeating the same errors and to improve steadily. Without it, you can get stuck in frustration and self-doubt. Reflection often leads to clearer priorities. Life is full of distractions and competing demands. You can't do everything, and trying to do so will spread your energy thin. When you pause to evaluate your goals and your actions, you sharpen your focus on what matters most. This clarity makes it easier to say no to tasks or requests that don't align with your priorities. It creates a filter that protects your time and energy for what truly supports your dreams. It's important to create a regular routine for reflection. Many successful people take time daily, weekly, or monthly to assess their progress. This might be through journaling, meditation, or simply sitting quietly and asking yourself tough questions. What did I do today that brought me closer to my dream? What distracted me? What can I improve? What am I grateful for? These questions dig beneath surface activity and reveal the quality of your efforts. Reflection also strengthens your emotional connection to your dreams. When you pause to think deeply, you reconnect with your passion and purpose. You remember why you started and what you're fighting for. This emotional recharge fuels your motivation and helps you push through challenges. It reminds you that your goals aren't just tasks on a to-do list. They are parts of your identity and vision for your life. Another benefit of reflection is it builds accountability with yourself. When you make it a habit to review your actions and results, you hold yourself responsible for your progress. This kind of self-accountability is empowering. It means you don't rely on outside approval or motivation. You become the driver of your own success. This mindset shifts your role from a passive dreamer to an active creator of your future. Regular reflection also helps you manage stress and avoid burnout. When you pause and review your workload, you can identify when you're pushing too hard or neglecting self-care. It allows you to balance effort with rest and keep your energy sustainable. Without reflection, you might keep running full speed until exhaustion, then wonder why your progress stalled. Taking breaks to check in with yourself protects your physical and mental health, which are critical for long-term success. Sometimes reflection reveals uncomfortable truths. You might realize you've been procrastinating or avoiding important tasks. You might find that certain habits or relationships are holding you back. This honesty can be tough to face, but it's necessary for growth. The good news is that reflection is the first step to change. Once you see what isn't working, you have the power to adjust your course and take better actions. Reflection doesn't require perfection or deep philosophical insights. It's simply about asking yourself meaningful questions and being honest with your answers. It's about listening to your inner voice instead of the noise around you. It's about making sure your daily actions serve your ultimate goals, not just immediate distractions or obligations. Even a few minutes each day dedicated to this practice can transform how you move through life. Incorporating reflection means setting boundaries around your time. Turn off distractions and find quiet moments to think clearly. Use tools like a journal or planner to write down your thoughts and track your progress. Over time, these notes become a map of your journey showing growth, challenges, and breakthroughs. This record can motivate you when you feel stuck and remind you of your resilience and determination. Reflection also connects you to your values. Your true goals are often tied to what you believe in and care about most deeply. Taking time to reflect helps you see if your actions are honoring those values or if you've drifted into choices that conflict with them. Aligning your actions with your values creates a sense of integrity and peace. It reduces inner conflict and helps you feel grounded even when life feels chaotic. The discipline of regular reflection strengthens your ability to focus. When you know what you want and why, distractions lose their power. You become more selective about where you put your attention. This clarity makes it easier to resist temptations that pull you away from your path. Reflection sharpens your mental filters so you can keep your energy on what matters. In the end, reflection is a gift you give yourself. It's a moment of clarity, a chance to realign with your dreams, and a way to honor your progress. Without it, you risk living a life shaped by external pressures rather than your own deepest desires. By making reflection a habit, you take control of your journey. You ensure that every step you take brings you closer to the life you truly want to live. Number 8. Celebrate small wins to build confidence and momentum. It's hard to overstate how many people get stuck because they overlook the importance of small wins. Most folks think only big achievements deserve recognition, but that's a mistake. The truth is, those little victories are the fuel that keeps you moving forward. If you don't celebrate progress, no matter how small, your motivation can dry up. You might start feeling like you're running on empty, and the dream you're chasing will seem further away than ever. But when you pause to recognize small successes, something powerful happens inside. You build confidence, momentum, and the belief that your efforts matter. Life is tough, and the road to your dreams is filled with challenges. Every day is a chance to take a step forward, even if it's just a tiny one. Maybe it's finishing a task you've been putting off, or learning something new that will help you grow. It might be waking up early to work on your goal, or saying no to distractions that steal your time. These moments don't feel like much on their own, but they add up. When you celebrate them, you send a message to your brain and your heart. You're making progress. You're capable. You're moving closer to what you want. Many people fall into the trap of ignoring these small wins because they compare themselves to others or expect instant success. That comparison kills confidence and creates pressure that can paralyze action. But success isn't a single event. It's a series of consistent actions. Recognizing your own progress helps you avoid burnout and keeps you invested in your journey. It's the difference between feeling stuck in a rut and feeling excited to keep pushing forward. Celebrating small wins can be simple and personal. It doesn't require grand gestures or public announcements. It might be writing down what you accomplished each day or sharing your progress with a trusted friend. It could mean treating yourself to something meaningful or taking a moment to reflect on how far you've come. The act of acknowledgement connects your effort with reward, which motivates you to repeat the behavior. Over time, this builds momentum that carries you through tougher times. The power of celebrating small wins goes beyond motivation. It also reshapes how you see yourself. When you recognize even modest achievements, you start to build a positive identity. You see yourself as someone who follows through, someone who grows, someone who overcomes obstacles. This mindset shift is critical. If you don't see yourself as capable, you'll struggle to take the bold steps required to reach your dreams. But when you celebrate progress, you reinforce a story of success that pushes you to keep going. There's also an emotional benefit to celebrating small wins. It creates joy and satisfaction in the moment, breaking up the grind of long-term effort. These feelings recharge your spirit and give you the strength to face new challenges. When you're emotionally connected to your progress, you're less likely to give up when obstacles arise. You remember the good feelings tied to your achievements, and that memory fuels resilience. It's important to recognize that small wins aren't just about tasks completed. They can include mental and emotional victories like overcoming fear, staying focused during a tough day, or shifting your mindset from doubt to belief. These intangible successes are just as important because they shape how you approach your goals. Celebrate the courage it takes to keep going, the patience you practice, and the discipline you develop. These qualities build the foundation for bigger achievements. When you create a habit of celebrating small wins, you also create a clearer picture of your journey. You see patterns emerge, what strategies work best, when you feel most productive, and which moments bring breakthroughs. This awareness helps you make better decisions and adjust your approach. Instead of blindly pushing forward, you become strategic and intentional. This makes your efforts more effective and increases your chances of success. Sometimes, celebrating small wins requires fighting against inner voices that say it's not enough. You may hear doubt telling you that your progress is too slow or your results aren't significant. That voice wants to keep you stuck in frustration and impatience. But choosing to celebrate small wins is a way to silence that negative talk. It's a declaration that your journey is worth honoring, no matter how gradual the progress feels. In practical terms, building this habit means being present and aware of your daily actions. Keep track of what you accomplish, even if it's a tiny step. Notice moments when you resist temptation or take positive action. Write them down or say them aloud. The more you do this, the easier it becomes to spot wins and give yourself credit. This practice rewires your brain to focus on growth rather than shortcomings. Celebration also creates a positive feedback loop in your relationships. When you share your small wins with supportive people, their encouragement boosts your morale. It reminds you that you're not alone on this path. Their belief in you becomes a source of strength. And when you acknowledge your progress openly, you inspire others to do the same, creating a cycle of motivation and empowerment. Another benefit of celebrating small wins is that it keeps your dreams alive in your mind and heart. When you recognize progress regularly, your goals stay vivid and real. They don't become distant ideas or forgotten wishes. This constant reminder sharpens your focus and helps maintain your energy. It prevents your dreams from fading into background noise while life's distractions take over. The journey to your dreams is rarely a straight line. It includes setbacks, detours, and times when it feels like nothing is happening. That's why celebrating small wins is essential. It provides checkpoints to gauge your direction and keep your spirit strong. It turns the climb into a series of achievable steps instead of an overwhelming leap. This approach builds confidence and a sense of control over your destiny. In the end, small wins are the bricks that build the foundation of your success. Each one adds strength, stability, and confidence. Celebrating them fuels your momentum and deepens your belief in yourself. It reminds you that progress is happening even when it's not obvious at first glance. By honoring these wins, you create a positive cycle that carries you forward, step by step, closer to the life you're meant to live. Number 9. Learn to say no to things that don't serve. There comes a point in life when you realize that saying yes to everything isn't a badge of honor. Most people live with an overwhelming feeling of obligation, saying yes to requests, invitations, or distractions just because they don't want to disappoint others or seem uncooperative. But this habit slowly erodes your time, energy, and focus. The truth is, you cannot pour from an empty cup. You have one life and one chance to make your dreams real, and if you don't learn to say no to what doesn't serve you, you'll drift away from your path before you know it. This is not just about refusing favors or declining invitations. It's about protecting your future by being intentional with your choices every single day. You might feel guilty at first when you say no, especially if you're used to pleasing others or avoiding conflict. That discomfort is normal. But it's crucial to understand that saying no is not selfish, it's self-respect. When you say no to what drains you, you say yes to your growth. You say yes to the dreams that matter. Every time you say no to a distraction, a time waster, or something that doesn't align with your goals, you create room for what truly matters. You reclaim control over your time and your mind. This is where discipline begins, by choosing what to allow into your life and what to leave out. Learning to say no starts with clarity. You need to know what you're aiming for, what you truly want to accomplish. Without that clear picture, every request or opportunity looks equally tempting or urgent, and it's easy to get lost. When your vision is sharp, it becomes easier to evaluate whether a yes or no moves you closer to your goals. This is about setting your priorities straight. If something pulls you away from your dream, it's a no. If it adds value, it might be a yes. This filter protects your focus and energy like a shield. Most people underestimate how much time and energy are stolen by small yes moments that add up. A quick agreement to help someone, a social media scroll that eats up minutes, saying yes to activities that don't contribute to your well-being. These seemingly small decisions build up and create a mountain of distractions. Before long, you feel exhausted, overwhelmed, and stuck. That's why mastering the art of saying no is one of the most powerful tools for anyone serious about focusing on themselves and their dreams. Saying no also means learning to communicate clearly and respectfully. It's not about shutting people down harshly or being rude. It's about setting boundaries firmly and kindly. When you say no without apology or excessive explanation, you show that you value your time and your goals. This confidence in your decisions builds respect from others and from yourself. And respect is key to maintaining your focus over the long haul. People will understand and even admire your discipline when they see you're serious about your purpose. Another thing to consider is how saying no protects your mental and emotional health. Constantly agreeing to everything can leave you feeling drained and resentful. You might even lose sight of what you want because you're too busy managing others' expectations. This exhaustion clouds your judgment and diminishes your energy for meaningful work. Saying no acts like a filter, allowing you to preserve your peace and focus on what energizes you. It's a necessary act of self-care. It's also important to realize that some things you say no to today might be opportunities tomorrow, but that's okay. Life isn't about rushing to say yes to everything just to avoid missing out. It's about pacing yourself and choosing wisely. If something doesn't fit into your current goals or values, let it go without regret. Your no today protects your yes for tomorrow's bigger wins. When you respect your own boundaries, you build the kind of discipline that leads to lasting success. Learning to say no means resisting pressure from friends, family, or even your own inner voice that urges you to take on too much. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that you have to do everything or that saying no means failure. But this mindset only keeps you stuck. Saying no frees you from that false belief. It gives you permission to focus on your own journey without guilt or distraction. At times, saying no might mean missing out on things that seem fun or important socially. This can feel lonely or uncomfortable, but remember it's temporary and purposeful. The time you save by saying no to distractions is the time you invest in building your dreams. And that investment creates freedom and joy down the line. The discomfort of saying no is a small price to pay for the clarity and progress you gain. When you say no consistently to what doesn't serve, you also start to see your self-worth rise. You stop settling for less and stop tolerating situations or people that drain you. Your no is a declaration that you deserve respect, focus, and success. It's a powerful statement that your time is valuable and your dreams matter. This mindset changes everything because it lifts you from a place of obligation to a place of choice and control. To make saying no easier, develop a habit of pausing before you respond. Don't feel pressured to say yes immediately. Take a moment to consider how the request fits into your priorities. This pause is your secret weapon. It gives you space to make wise decisions rather than reactive ones. Over time, this practice trains your mind to protect your focus naturally. Saying no is also about removing unnecessary commitments that clutter your life. Look at your current schedule and activities honestly. What is taking your energy without bringing you closer to your dreams? What are you doing out of habit or obligation that doesn't truly serve you anymore? Identify these things and practice saying no to them. This cleansing process frees up your mind and body to engage fully with what matters most. Remember, saying no is not just about rejecting others' demands. It's about accepting responsibility for your own success. It means putting yourself first, not out of selfishness, but out of necessity. You cannot help others or live fully unless you protect your own foundation. When your focus is intact and your energy preserved, you can give your best to both your dreams and the people who matter most. Saying no also trains your resilience. It teaches you to face discomfort and uncertainty without backing down. Each no strengthens your ability to stand firm in your decisions and guard your progress. This resilience is vital because the journey to your dreams will always challenge you. The ability to say no is a tool that keeps you from getting pulled off course by every distraction or demand. Lastly, learn to say no with kindness. Saying no doesn't have to mean closing doors permanently or burning bridges. You can decline in a way that leaves relationships intact and opens the possibility for future yeses that align better with your goals. This balance is part of maintaining harmony while protecting your focus. Saying no is one of the most courageous and strategic actions you can take. It's a choice that demands self-awareness, discipline, and respect for your own path. When you master this, you free yourself from distractions, preserve your energy, and move closer to your dreams every single day. Saying no doesn't limit your life, it expands it by creating space for what truly matters. Number 10. Trust yourself and believe deeply in your potential. There is a harsh reality many people face every day: doubt. It creeps in quietly but powerfully, convincing you that you're not enough, whether it's not smart enough, strong enough, or simply not meant for success. This doubt can come from others or even from your own mind, and it chips away at your confidence one small thought at a time. The truth is, without trust in yourself, nothing meaningful will take root. Believing deeply in your potential is not optional if you want to achieve your dreams. It's the foundation that holds everything else together. Without it, no plan, no goal, and no effort will stand firm when the inevitable challenges come. Trusting yourself means knowing you have what it takes, even when you don't feel like it. It's not about pretending you're perfect or that you know everything. It's about accepting that you are capable of learning, growing, and overcoming obstacles. This belief gives you strength to face uncertainty with courage. Life will test your resolve, but if you trust your inner voice, you won't back down when the road gets tough. This trust acts like an anchor, keeping you steady during storms of fear and doubt. Many people struggle to trust themselves because of past failures or setbacks. Those moments can haunt your thoughts, making you feel unworthy or incapable. But failure isn't a signal to stop. It's proof that you're trying. Trust is built by facing these setbacks and deciding to keep moving forward anyway. It's built by recognizing that your potential is not defined by one mistake or one bad day. Your potential is a deep reservoir inside you, waiting to be tapped, regardless of past disappointments. Belief in your potential is an active choice, not a passive feeling. It requires commitment and daily reinforcement. Every morning when you wake up, remind yourself of the possibilities ahead. Challenge the negative thoughts that tell you otherwise. Replace them with honest affirmations of your ability to grow and succeed. This mental practice rewires your brain to focus on your strengths rather than your fears. Over time, this builds a strong sense of self-confidence that fuels your actions. Trusting yourself also means listening to your instincts and honoring your values. When you make decisions aligned with who you truly are, you strengthen that trust. Sometimes people get caught in the trap of trying to please others or follow paths that aren't theirs. This leads to confusion and lack of faith in their own judgment. The more you align your actions with your genuine beliefs and desires, the more your trust in yourself grows. It becomes easier to navigate challenges because you are grounded in your own truth. This belief is not blind optimism. It's realistic faith in your capacity to handle whatever comes your way. It acknowledges your flaws and limitations but doesn't let them define you. It recognizes that potential is not about being perfect today, but about the ability to improve tomorrow. When you trust yourself deeply, you become your own greatest supporter and strongest ally. You stop waiting for others' approval to move forward because you trust your own voice. One of the greatest barriers to trusting yourself is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. But fear is just a feeling, not a fact. When you choose to believe in your potential despite fear, you shift the power dynamic. Fear no longer controls your actions, you do. This shift is liberating and empowering because it puts you back in the driver's seat of your life. You become the author of your own story rather than a passenger reacting to circumstances. Building this trust requires patience. It won't happen overnight, especially if doubt has been your companion for years. But with consistent effort, your belief in yourself will grow stronger and more resilient. Every step you take toward your goals, no matter how small, adds fuel to this inner fire. Celebrating these steps reinforces your potential and reminds you that you are capable of progress. Trust grows from action as much as from thought. It's important to surround yourself with reminders of your potential. This might mean seeking out stories of people who overcame odds, or spending time with those who believe in you. Their support can reflect back the confidence you sometimes struggle to see in yourself. However, the ultimate source of this trust must come from within. Other people's faith in you is helpful, but it's your own belief that sustains you when others aren't around. Trusting yourself also means forgiving yourself. Perfection isn't required to move forward. Mistakes are part of the process. When you slip up, instead of spiraling into self-criticism, acknowledge the error, learn from it, and continue. This kindness toward yourself builds a safe environment where trust can flourish. When you treat yourself like someone worthy of trust, it becomes easier to believe in your own potential. Believing in your potential transforms how you approach challenges. Instead of avoiding difficulties or shrinking away from risk, you lean into the discomfort with confidence. You see challenges as opportunities to grow rather than threats to your worth. This mindset shift is powerful because it opens doors instead of closing them. Trusting yourself creates momentum that pushes you forward even when the path isn't clear. This belief also impacts how you set goals. When you trust your potential, you set goals that stretch you rather than limit you. You're willing to aim higher because you believe you can reach further. This confidence motivates you to put in the work required and maintain focus. Without this trust, goals remain distant dreams. With it, they become achievable targets. Another key to deepening trust in yourself is to track your progress. Keep a record of your accomplishments, no matter how small. Look back often and remind yourself of what you've achieved. This evidence is proof that you are capable. When doubt creeps in, reviewing your wins can quickly silence that inner critic. It's a way to build tangible confidence step by step. Trusting yourself is a lifelong journey, not a one-time event. Your potential evolves as you grow, and so does your faith in it. As you face new experiences, your trust deepens and expands. This ongoing relationship with yourself is the most important foundation for success and fulfillment. It influences everything you do and every choice you make. Ultimately, trusting yourself means accepting that you are enough right now, in this moment. You don't need to prove anything to anyone else. Your worth and potential are inherent, waiting for you to recognize them. When you embrace this truth, it changes how you live. You become more decisive, more resilient, and more joyful. You step into your power because you know your future depends on how much you believe in yourself today. Trusting yourself is not just about reaching goals. It's about living fully, with confidence and purpose. It's the key to unlocking your potential and turning your dreams into reality. When you trust yourself, you free your mind from the chains of doubt and open your heart to possibility. This trust is the most powerful gift you can give yourself, and it's the foundation of every great achievement.